All right, welcome to another episode of JNA News Dash, where two full-time realtors become part-time newscasters. And this is the last News Dash of 2023.
You'll be thinking last News Dash, but no, it's just for 2023 before we hit the new year in 2024.
Yes, that's right. And today, of course, we have Grace right here. And I'm Lucas from JNA. Very nice to see you guys again. Thank you for joining us during this holiday season. I hope everyone's had a great holiday, and the New Year's coming, of course. Drink responsibly and get prepared, right? For 2024 coming up, your New Year's resolutions, start writing them. We'd like to hear what your New Year's resolutions are.
Yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed Boxing Day. We definitely had a lot of gift exchange, a lot of funny gifts that we received.
Yeah. Somebody received groceries from Grace. Very practical
gifts.
Yeah, very practical. Yes, of course. And let's move on to the first news of the week.
Okay, so for the first news of the week, what we have is the occupancy rate for HDBs as well as private condos. The ones with bigger units have actually changed the number of people that they can actually rent to from 6 to actually 8. So this is initially done to actually cool the rental market down because of how crazy it has been for like the past 1 and 2 years.
Yes, and of course, this has been a very nice gift from URA, right? But let's remember that this is only temporary.
Yep.
It's only from 22nd January to end of December 2026, right? Yeah, so don't go into contracts where, 3 years, 4 years long, where you have 8 occupants. Yeah, so it's an interesting move by URA. They call it a cooling measure.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess there are good and bad sides to this. In a sense that, it could cool down the market just because, more people can be fitted into a unit. That means, for each person, their rental then decrease. So it's more affordable for people who are actually looking for maybe a space where they don't need the entire house. It makes it more affordable for, working individuals like that. But what we also do see is that this could potentially mean that co-living operators who are renting out room by rooms, they are probably going to be looking at these bigger units. And maybe in the short to long midterm wise, this could actually mean that the demand for these bigger units will actually increase as compared to the smaller ones.
That's right. Of course, this is just our professional opinion, and it stands to be seen like what will the true effect of this cooling measure be. So, yeah, I do think that, from the ground, how I see is that co-living operators have actually been holding off a little bit due to the high rental market.
Yep.
But now that they can collect actually more rent because they have more tenants in a single unit, what might happen is actually bring back the demand from co-living operators.
Yeah, so for those of you who are not familiar with how co-living works, what co-living operators actually does is that they actually rent whole units from landlords, and then they will rent out individual rooms out, sometimes even subdividing the unit itself by partitioning it to have more rooms. So now that the number of people have actually increased from 6 to 8, this actually means that they're able to rent it to 8 individuals, potentially increasing their rent also.
So we do then see there will be an increased supply in bedrooms for rent, right? That may cool the bedroom market, right? But
in terms of the entire home rental, if co-living operators see this as an opportunity, they may actually increase the demand for it. So we don't know how much it will cool like whole rentals for bigger units in general.
Yeah. So direct beneficiaries of this, I guess, will be the lower income. For example, students, workers, nurses, right? Yeah. And yeah.
But one thing I may also foresee on the ground is that more people will be sharing the bathrooms in the house.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So if you have 2 bathrooms in the house, then it will be 8 packs sharing 2 bathrooms.
And if you own a 3-bed, 3-bath unit, then congratulations, your unit will be in high demand.
So people will start snatching for toilets in the morning.
Yes. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Back to co-living.
Yep. Okay, so the next one is that co-living residents now expect more from co-living operators than just, basic shelter. So I think co-living has been quite an in thing in the past, 1 to 2 years. In the past, people kind of have the misconception on why co-living is so different from like room rental. I think the more basic that co-living actually does is that co-living operators usually take more effort into, revitalizing the space, making it pretty, staging the place up. They provide like either weekly cleanings or including like utilities inside your rent. So I guess it changes the whole experience a little bit more for someone who has just arrived in Singapore. They want a more of a short-term rental to try and see if they like the area. Then co-living might be an alternative solutions for them.
How I see the co-living industry, there's really two type of operators. One are the big players like Collywood and the Assembly Place, and then there are smaller independent investors where they are just average Singaporeans renting a unit for maybe 2,000, and then after renting out the bedrooms, they get 2,008 around
So
there.
it's like a rent-to-rent, semi-passive income kind of, hobby for some people.
Yes, and I do think it's important to differentiate between the big players and the independent ones because the big players, right, they do charge a bigger premium, but also they have like communal spaces.
Yes.
And the lifestyle is like really part of the whole package where you get to interact and mingle with the other tenants.
Yeah.
Right. And typically there'll be people in the same industry or similar industry. Yeah. And then you get to build partnerships, you get to build friendships. Yeah.
So it's like a networking. You're paying for, I would say, like the community itself as compared to if you were to rent a room from a landlord and you don't really interact with the tenants or landlord in the area. Usually just go back to your own room. But for co-living wise, because there is a communal area, people get to, there are like working spaces for some of them. You get to interact with, if let's say you're an entrepreneur, you've just came to Singapore and you have like-minded people around you. This is what people are looking for when they actually look for co-living also.
And one of the plus points is that co-living operators, whether it's the big players or the independent players, right? Almost all of them offer a weekly housekeeping service packaged together with the rent. So actually it ensures that your unit, right, is being very well maintained.
Yeah, so it's like for lazy people or like for people who want convenience, everything is settled for you. Wi-Fi is settled for you. You don't have to open your own Wi-Fi account. You don't have to open your own SP, utilities account. You basically just move in and you just pay your monthly rental price, and basically everything is taken care of.
Yeah. So for this piece of news, what are the kinds of amenities that the residents are expecting? Because they're asking for more than just basic shelter, right? So what are they asking for?
So I think besides the entire package of things coming together, right, as well as the community that we've just talked about, some of the operators actually also do organize events such as hikes, workshops, and yoga sessions.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so back to the community thing, you don't have to go and they even make it easy for you that you don't have to go out to network, to exercise, and they host such activities for you. So it's really basically an all-in-one package when someone actually goes to a co-living operator to rent a place. So every aspect in terms of from community building to, exercise, maybe some of them even provide like kitchen or like food catering to make things basically easy and convenient in your life.
It sounds really nice. I just wish that this trend had come earlier when I was studying uni days.
Yeah,
it would be nice to be more independent, stay outside of the home, and so interact more.
Co-living definitely comes as a premium as compared if you were to, I guess, rent a place yourself or like a traditional room. But some people just see the benefit in co-living that they are just willing to pay a premium because they don't have to pay extra outside to find activities or find a community, and they just see the benefit in co-living, and that's why they are a group that's willing to pay a premium, just get everything settled for them by the operators itself.
Yeah. All right. So the next news we have, concerns arise amongst nature enthusiasts that the upcoming BTO project near Pasir Ris Park could lead to the displacement of wildlife.
Yes. So I think for a lot of nature lovers, this is a concern for them because I think Singapore it's developed in a sense that we do have nature spaces, but these nature spaces are continuously being taken over because the need for housing has just been on the rise. And, the governments just have no choice but to take over these empty lands to actually redevelop them into housing purposes. And this is something this is not the first time that we're seeing this. The last time this happened was at Dover area, right beside Dover MRT. There was this huge forested area that if you do pass by now, you actually see them clearing the forest to make way for the upcoming BTOs also.
Oh no.
Yeah,
that's
so
quite sad. Yeah.
The last time this happened, I think the government kind of took a step back. They were going to redevelop the entire area, but because of concerns by nature lovers, what they did is that they decided that one part of it had more, I would say, varieties of like wildlife species. So they decided to kind of hold that part first and only develop the other side.
Yeah. So I must say we are both Westies. So I haven't been to Pasir Ris Park myself.
Yeah.
Embarrassingly. Have you?
No, not
No,
yet.
Pasir Ris Park. A bit far from us. But in the West, we do have a lot of nature parks actually.
Yeah.
And I can empathize if any of these nature parks were to be, removed for more HDB or more condo. I think it's reasonable to actually at least be concerned.
Yes.
Yeah.
But definitely with all these concerns, HDB has also, engaged and have discussions with these nature groups to take into their feedback and account during the whole development and the planning phase to see how the new BTOs can actually, I would say, embrace the nature, to see how they can actually keep some of these I think elements of nature while actually having housing in the area. So I think it's difficult, definitely, with the construction noises and everything. You're definitely going to affect nature and wildlife to a certain sense. But I think government is trying to work together with the nature lovers themselves, as well as the census on the public, to see what are some of the ways that they can kind of develop the area to cultivate or maybe embrace nature a little bit more, while taking over the wildlife spaces.
So some of the rare wildlife that were spotted here are the Sundar-Scope's owls and the blue.
How often do you see owls in Singapore?
Oh, never, because I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping or working at night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sundar-Scope's owls or blue-eared kingfishers.
Haven't seen one in my life either.
I haven't seen those even in the West. Yeah, but we do have some nice ones in the West too. Yeah, so HDB has been engaging with nature groups, right? So I think that's very part of the course with HDB. They do always talk to the nature groups to ensure that their concerns are being addressed.
Yes.
And even engage them to suggest ideas of how to protect this wildlife, right?
Yeah.
So right now it's still in the very preliminary stages. So HDB has erected a poster on site detailing an environmental management plan. So if you go down to Pasir Ris Park, I believe you'll be able to find this poster if you want to get in touch with them.
Yep. So for those of you who haven't visited Pasir Ris Park, and if this BTO happens to really take over the place, you might want to check it out soon. And maybe we can check it out soon also, just before it gets taken over.
It'll be a nice photography project. We do some before and after.
Yeah.
What it looks like 2 years, 3 years from now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the last news of the week. People's Park Complex significant heritage value could influence the ongoing collective sale process.
Yeah, so government has actually put conservation considerations on People's Park Complex just because it's been there for such a long time and it's been such an iconic building. But this could also affect the en bloc process, or what we know as a collective sale process, just because once a developer actually bid for this place or this land, there's a limited things that they can actually do. So traditionally, developers would tear down the entire building and rebuild a new building in place of it. But because of the conservation considerations, this could limit the things that they can do, and they probably can only follow certain guidelines where they have to conserve the outlook of the building and probably just rejuvenate the entire area.
So you may think that, it will be more affordable for developers to develop this building since you don't have to tear down and you just rejuvenate the place, right? But actually, that's not the case. Actually, a lot of money and resources are involved in making sure that this building can last another 100 years, right? And then to maintain the outlook of the building, and then still keep its saleability, right? Because I don't know, in my own personal opinion, right? In the Chinatown area, People's Park Complex is a little bit of an eyesore. No haters, please. But I mean, is this huge yellow wall?
Yeah.
Right, and Chinatown already has been rejuvenated very nicely, right? And right now, that's the last remaining piece that I'll be interested to see, right? How the developers can turn it into something more modern.
Yeah, so I think the reason for it being maybe an eyesore to you is also because it was completed in 1973, which was a long, long time ago. And some history that back then it was Southeast Asia first mixed-use development, and standing at 31 stories tall, it was actually the largest shopping complex in Singapore.
Wow. What's the earliest memory of you shopping here?
I can't remember. I probably follow my parents there, long when I was young. But the vibes is definitely very different from your traditional shopping center, I would say.
I think I was probably maybe 5 or 6 years old. I remember going to the OG nearby, and it's still there. OG is still there. And then after that, coming here to buy some dried Chinese goods, right? Like dried cuttlefish, dried scallops, that kind of thing, and with my grandma. Yeah, so it's a lot of memories here. Yeah, but definitely it needs a facelift.
Oh yeah,
a facelift,
Yes,
right?
correct. Yeah, so for some, an example of such happening was at Golden Mile Complex, where it was actually termed under conservation, and the collector sale actually went through. So for them, what the developers actually got was a waiver of a certain development charge and being able to renew the lease to a fresh 99-year lease. So I guess that's some of the benefits when the building is actually under conservation, because government will put more attention on it, and some waivers will actually happen to actually aid these developers when they want to actually rejuvenate the entire building also.
And of course, URA is in conversation with Docomomo, which is a non-profit organization dedicated to the documentation and conservation of buildings. So Docomomo is saying that URA is taking a very positive step and expressing hope for conserving People's Park Complex with integrity. Yeah, achieving a balance that retains defining elements while giving it a contemporary renewal.
Okay, yeah, so I think that's all we have for the last news dash of this year. Thanks so much for all those of you who have tuned in every week to support us, whether you have been listening, on your journey to work, or whether you've just been using it as a catch-up for the property news. We'll see you guys next year, and we hope that you're enjoying this last few days of the year with your family and friends.
Yes, and as a Christmas gift to us, a belated Christmas gift to us, please subscribe to our Telegram channel. And very exciting news, we have launched a new series, a new channel on YouTube and Instagram called Get Real. So if you want to find the link, go to our Telegram channel and click on the link. Yeah.
Okay, so this is Grace.
This is Lucas.
We'll see you next time, next year. Bye-bye.
Bye. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.